before, but my daughters had to read this in high school. And There Was Light by Jacques Lucerian. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He was a blind person who was in the French Resistance during World War II. And he experienced his blindness as a boy. He had an accident. I think he was about 8 or so when he had an accident that made him lose his vision. And it's a remarkable book if you ever want to read about someone extraordinary. True story about his work during the French Resistance in World War II. And one of the things that I read the book a long time ago, but a few years ago, but what struck me in it was his one of the things that his blindness gave him is that when he was first dealing with learning to adapt and discover how to live a new life, being blind, he recognized that he had this sense of inner sight that would come like a new gift that arrived when one of your senses dissolves away from your capacity. And he found that he could intuit, he had this sixth sense, this sense of intuition available to him. But if he was afraid, if he let fear kind of overwhelm him in any moments, he learned this as a child, and you can imagine being newly blind that there would be a lot of fear. But he found that when he let fear in, this sixth sense that he had would go away, that he called it sight. And it was a different kind of sight than our vision, but he lost it when fear would overwhelm him. And I think we can learn a lot from that when we get caught by the emotional states that kind of wrap around our experiences, we lose our capacity to see clearly. And I don't mean with our vision, but just the capacity to be fully present and aware of how to respond in a situation, I think can leave us if we let fear be our guide. And I think it's easy to be afraid these days. There's so much to be afraid of. There's a lot of scary things that happen in our world, and we have to learn how to adapt and get strong enough to be able to sit in the presence of love and gratitude and connection and trust and faith, and allow ourselves to kind of let those experiences overpower the sense of fear. And it doesn't mean ignore your fear, but to let it move through you instead of kind of cling and latch onto you. So I recommend the book if you ever have a chance to read it. And There Was Light, Jacques Lucerian. I read it a while ago, so I can't remember all the details now, but I remember being very inspired by his story. Okay, so let's sit up straight and tall and think about something that maybe you are struggling with. Are you having difficulty adapting to something in your life, or overwhelmed by the input from the world in some way? And if this is the case, let's see what we can do to first just experience how we feel, to not try to change anything, solve anything, but to just sit for a moment in what we are experiencing. So drop your awareness, your weight, ground yourself. Feel a sense of spaciousness, openness that comes through the breath. Scan your body and find any little crevices that are tense, holding something that can be softened or let go. And even if your breath is choppy or your body's not super comfy yet, it's okay. Just see if you can allow yourself to be present for what you're experiencing. Begin melting, especially through your eyes. When we experience hearing about somebody who has lost some function like sight, let's just have a moment of gratitude for our vision. Let's place the hands together at our heart and bow in. Offer an intention. What do you need today? How can you cultivate this sense of presence where we can allow fear and other challenges to move through us instead of cling to us? Let's release the hands and come onto our back. All right, so as you find your way onto your mat, let's enjoy. Remember to enjoy your practice. This is a gift of an hour's time to allow yourself to be at ease. Okay. All right, so stretch your arms overhead and let's just enjoy the body here a moment. So stretch the right side, stretch the left side, enjoy a morning stretch, that feeling of expansion, openness. Notice what shifts in your spine, in your nervous system, in your breath. And bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a little hug. Feel free to rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, circle the knees. Go one direction, a couple, 3 times. Go the other direction. All right, let's open up the knees away from each other and bring them back in. Just feel into the range of motion in your hip joints. What's available today? All right, right knee comes in, left leg long on the floor. Let's move your ankles about. So feel into the openness of your feet, wiggle your toes. Give a good compression into the knee. And then let's change sides. Left knee comes in, right leg long, and feel into the feet. Open things up. All right, and then draw that knee in, and let's rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. And let's open the knees up again, and then stretch your legs wide. Starfish your body out. Reach into your fingers and your toes, wiggle. While you're out there, take a deep breath in and squeeze all your muscles you can find. Hold your breath for a moment and squeeze your muscles. And then relax. Bring your knees into your chest and pick your head up. Inhale and expand, open again. Exhale, draw your breath out. Knees in, keep your breath out. Squeeze, squeeze. And then relax your head down onto the ground. Roll over onto your right side and find right angles. You can always put something under your head if you need a little support. And we're just gonna open the book here a little bit. So open your hand, come into a chest opener, and then exhale and bring your hands back. Okay, a couple more times. Open up your chest, feel the thoracic spine, and then exhale And bring the hands together. Knees are together, hips are stacked. Open up your chest. And then relax and bring the hands back. Roll right over onto your left side, right angles with your knees and your hips. Hands straight out from your shoulders. Take a breath. Open the book. Exhale and close. And now notice if you have twisting patterns in the body, one a little stronger than the other side, you know, is it easier to twist one direction more than the other? Relax. And then go ahead and come back. Bring your knees into your chest. I don't know if you all can hear this, but I'm fostering 5 kittens and they're getting bigger and they're meowing like crazy in the room next to us. So I hope it's not disturbing. Stretch and lengthen, open your body out, and then exhale. Draw your knees in. Come rolling over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. All right, so as we find our way, okay, let's see what cat-cows feel like in the beginning of your practice here. So open up your spine, enjoy the movement of your vertebrae. We're gonna do some heart opening practices today, which I think are always good practices when we're trying to work with some tools around facing fear, uncertainty, anxiety, stress, the need to adapt. So the more we can keep our heart open, the better off we can be. The more we can start to have that inner sight and let trust be our guide instead of fear. All right, so move the spine around in any way that serves the body. What does it feel like? Can you feel your tail wag or do some circles? Try not to think too much, but let your body just do the movement that it wants to do. All right, and drop back towards child's pose. Settle the hips toward the heels. Walk the hands forward. Breathing well. You guys, I'm gonna go check on the kittens because something is not right. I will be right back. Come up to dog pose when you are ready. Okay, sorry about that. Everybody seems fine. I think they just need some love. Okay, all right. Don't we all need some love sometimes? Wouldn't it be great if all you had to do was meow and somebody would come love you anytime you needed? All right, so curl the toes under and stretch back towards child's pose now with your toes curled under. Relax your skull, breathe well. All right, and then release the feet. Give them a good smack on the ground, tap, tap, tap. And then relax back to a regular child's pose. Walk the hands over to the side, drop some weight into the hips, release the base of your skull, let there be ease in your neck. And then come back over and walk the hands over to the other side. Let your head relax, keep the back of the neck, the skull soft, drop some weight into the hips. Come back to center. Find another dog pose, stretching through your spine. Feel free to pedal your feet to move in space, however feels good to do so. You can drop a heel and then drop the other heel. Just come into that feeling of awakening and grounding. Yield into the earth, and as you feel the roots, rise up, heart lifting toward the pelvis. Breath in and out. And then let's walk forward, come into Uttanasana, fold in half.
let the knees relax a bit so your knees can bend as much as you want. Keep the neck soft and loose. Inhale for a halfway lift. The thigh bones move back, the shin bones move just slightly forward so that your knees stay unlocked. Lift up through your femur bones, root down through your shin bones. Feel the length of your spine. And then on your next exhale, melt again and relax. Drop some weight down into your hips and lift to rise up. All right, so if you're ever dizzy when you come up, you can always just squeeze to the midline. You can cross one thigh over the other thigh or press into the midline with your hands. When you're ready, open up, lean back a little bit if it feels good. Feel the big open breath, the big open chest, the big open heart. And cactus the arms out and feel the squeeze of the shoulder blades. And then relax and bring the forearms to touch, chin tucks down. Inhale, rise up, open through your chest, cactus the arms again. And then exhale and round your chest a bit, shoulders come forward. Last time up. This time we'll swan dive forward, arms out to the sides and release down. Halfway lift. Notice your breath. Start to get your breath online with your practice. Fold in half. Step your left foot back. The right foot comes forward to a lunge. Opening and lengthening through your spine here. Notice if you sink or sag in your pelvis. See if you can keep that thigh bone, the back leg lifting. Wide sit bones. And let's begin to bend and straighten the front knee. Breathing well. As you're ready, find your lunge. We're going to place the back knee down on the ground. If you're comfortable, you can always keep it up if your knees don't like to be on the floor. You can always pad underneath your knee as well. Rise up with both arms, a crescent lunge with your knee down. See what it feels like to have a little bit of a lunge, but not a fall. We're not collapsing. We're still supporting with our legs. And then as you're ready, bring your forearm crosses over to your knee and find a twist. Open across your collarbones. Your right hand can press onto your thigh to help lift your spine. Feel the hip flexor open a bit on this side. All right, and then back up, arms to the sky, and then place the hands down. All right, come back to your lunge, same leg, don't change anything yet. Straighten your leg for a moment, and then bend it again. And this time, we rise up with our knee off the ground. Open your body up. Feel into the ground. Root your feet. Rise up through your heart. Maybe lift just a little bit more. Just see what's available in the thoracic spine today for you. And then release the hands down. Back foot comes forward and fold in half. Relax your neck. Halfway lift. Spine gets longer. And then exhale and melt to fold. Step your other foot back. So now our left foot is forward, our right foot is coming back. Every time you touch a new place of sensation in the body, welcome yourself home. And let's begin to straighten and bend the front knee. Okay, so we're just moving with breath here. We're finding that natural rhythm of opening the body, flowing with the body, flowing with the breath. Find the lunge here, knee comes down onto the ground. Your back toes can curl under or lay flat, whatever feels nice. Rise up. Open up through your heart, lengthen through your spine, so feel the roots, the feet root down, big open chest, and then we're gonna twist to the side. So right forearm on left knee, left hand on thigh. Use your hand on your thigh to help you lift your spine so we're not falling, we're rooting into the earth and lifting, rising.
twisting with breath. Come back up, reaching the arms up again. Hands come down onto the blocks or ground. Find a lunge. And let's straighten your leg once here. Drop your chin. And then come into your lunge again. Feel the roots of your legs drop down to rise up. Big open chest. Big open heart. See what's available. So whenever we're trying to keep our heart expansive, we don't want to have the risk of compressing the back body. So notice between your shoulder blades, the low back. See if you can find expansiveness there as well. Okay. Hands come down and come back to dog pose. Full breaths here. Enjoy the reach of the legs, the sit bones high, the heels stretching back and down. Breathe into the side ribs, open your body up. Let's come forward into a plank and hold yourself steady and still. Breathe well. Integrate into the center. All right, let's find the ground. Lower yourself to the floor. All right, shoulders roll a few times. And rise up to a cobra when you're ready. And exhale. And relax again. One more time. Relax again. Come up on all fours. Move your spine about, swish and sway. All right, so tail's wagging, spine is rolling about. And drop some weight into your sit bones. Child's pose again. We're going to come onto our back for a moment. Lie down. All right, so find just a little bit of transverse abdominis work. So we're going to take a deep, put your hands on your belly for a moment. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, feel that you're just kind of shrink wrapping everything down. Try to keep your neck as relaxed and neutral in this pose as you can. Every breath in, we're releasing the belly. Every breath out, we're kind of engaging the deep low belly. So imagine perhaps that your hip bones, you know, they're bony parts on the front here, can move toward the midline. Imagine that your pubic bone can kind of zip up toward your navel, kind of like you're zipping up a tight pair of pants. So you have to kind of pull in a little bit to get the zipper to zip. So a little bit of a lift from pubic bone to belly button and hip bones toward the midline. So everything's kind of condensing toward the center. Remember that it's just as important that you loosen this on the inhale and let it go as engaging on the exhale. So this is a way where we get to feel a little sense of control of mobility in our transverse abdominis. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of work here to strengthen it while we move. So open the right knee out to the side, hold steady through your core, and then back with that knee up, and then out with your left knee out to the side. Now below, as you bring that back up, just feel your core. Below your transverse abdominis, below your organs, right nestled against your spine, you have your strong hip flexor of your psoas muscle. So let's turn this one up. Okay, so lift your knees. You can always, a plan B to do this is always to keep your feet on the ground and lift one knee at a time instead of dropping. But if you can, lift your knees up. So your knees, you can take your hands down at your sides now, so that your knees are over your hips or a little forward of your hips toward your chest, whatever's comfortable. And we're gonna tap your toe or your heel, whatever feels like the right place,
and then bring that knee back up to match the other one. All right, so we're just gonna go back and forth. Now, notice that you have to hold your transverse abdominis steady. We can't have a lot of breathing out or breathing in and relaxing now. We have to kind of hold some chronic tension, or not tension, but strength in this pose to be able to support our back. So notice your hip flexors here. Breathing deeply. And then rest for a moment. We're gonna put our elbows down onto the ground. Put your feet on the floor just for a moment while I describe this so that you can rest. So you can look at me, we're gonna lift our knees up again and we're gonna bring our knees out to touch our finger pads. So our knees are gonna be a little bit wider than the hip width apart. And we're gonna keep our knees right where they are. So we're gonna let the finger pads and the knees find each other and touch. And we're gonna keep that placement, and the movement is all in the lower legs. So we're going to do some circles where we're touching our toes and then circling away from the midline and bringing the toes back into touch. And we're gonna do each direction. So I'll show it from this angle just in case the side angle doesn't make sense. So my elbows are down, my fingers are up. I'm gonna bring my knees up, bring my knees wide to touch my fingers. My toes are gonna touch, and I'm gonna do some circles with my feet. So after a few rounds, switch directions, and you can circle your feet the other way. All right, so this might feel very subtle. It might feel very profound. It just depends on kind of where you're accessing. Try to keep your knees touching your finger pads without a lot of movement of your knees. So we're staying pretty steady. How's your breath? All right, and the knees into the chest. Rock around a little bit. Last core work we'll do before we get up and stand up. Interlace your hands behind your back. Okay, we're going to lift the legs straight up in the air. Find the breath. Oops, I'm gonna hit my furniture. We're gonna drop a straight leg, right leg down, right chest lifts towards left knee, and then back up again. And I'm bending my knee because I'm running into furniture, but you do you. Now, if that's a little too hard, you can do this with knees bent, and you can just straighten the leg toward the floor and twist, and then back. Okay, now try your best to not touch your heel to the ground while we do this. Breathing deeply. Just finding the core of your body, making sure you're still able to breathe while you use the core of your body. Then relax and bring your knees to your chest. Rock a little bit. Okay, put your feet down onto the ground. Scoot your hips over to the right, knees up, drop left. Twist open for a lying down twist. Open your breath, turn your head to the right. Full breaths. And then come back to center. Scoot hips to the left, knees drop over to the right, and twist open here. Deep breaths. All right, come back onto your back, roll onto your side, and find your way to dog pose. So returning back to some standing postures, feeling the roots of your hands and feet, that yielding, give way into the earth and then rebound off the earth. Relax your skull. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Now open up your right hip, stack it to the sky. Maybe your knee bends, maybe it stays straight. Try not to collapse through the left side. Lift up the armpit a bit. And square the hips again. Reach that leg long. Exhale, knee to chest. One more time, feeling your core. Inhale, bring that leg back up. Exhale, plant it forward. Back heel coming down to the ground. Virabhadrasana 1. Arms stay back for a moment. Palms facing the floor. Engage your triceps. Stay low in the torso. Find your legs. Reach your crown all the way into your long, and then reach into the back heel all the way into the earth. Start to rise up. Maybe you lean forward a little bit. Maybe you come up. Just see where your body wants to be. Try not to compress into the lumbar spine. Open up through the heart. Give way to that open heart as much as you can. Your hands can be wide or together. Ground into both legs. All right, and then release the hands down, half splits. Lengthen through your spine again. Turn on your glutes. Exhale and fold. We're going to go backwards through that process. Half lift on the other side. So come into, or half splits on the other side. Stand on your left foot. Right leg lifts up in the air. Feel your glutes turn on, long spine. And then we're going to step a big, giant step back. Plant the heel down onto the ground. Arms back, palms facing the floor. Triceps a little engaged. Feel the back muscles. Root into the earth. And when you're ready, come up. Now maybe you prefer to have your hands down. Maybe you prefer to lean forward. So just find a way that this pose feels best for your body. Open the chest. Try not to compress the lumbar spine. Use your core to find the support to lift your spine out. Reach into the feet. Big breaths here. Feel the courage of an open heart. And then hands come down. Lift that leg high. Left leg lifts high in the air. Square hips. Deep breath. Come forward on your next inhale to a plank. Knee to chest. Inhale that leg all the way back. Stack open the hip. Stack it up to the sky. Maybe you want to bend your knee. Maybe you want to straighten your knee. Find the breath. Square up the hips, then place your foot down onto the ground. Dog pose. Long spine here. Come forward into a plank. Hold yourself into integrity. Find that center line of support. Breathing well. All right, and then as you're ready, we're going to find the ground. Knees can come down first. Roll the shoulders. Inhale, hands off the ground. Hover them off the ground. Shoulder blades back down the body. Breathing well. Melt and relax for a moment. We're going to interlace our fingers behind our back. And if you can't reach, you can just have your hands down on the ground next to you. So however works for your body. We're going to lift our chest, lift your legs. Find your breath. Keep the neck long. Let the breath go all the way in and all the way out. So yes, there's a lot of back body work from your glutes through your spine, all of it, but we're also letting the diaphragm move our body. Exhale and relax. Turn your head one way or the other. Pick up your feet and windshield wiper your knees left and right. Turn your head the other way. And then come on up. Back to dog pose, back to child's pose, back to all fours. Where do you feel like going? Eventually, we're going to all find our way up to stand.
5. However you want to get into the air. Okay, find the breath. All right, now open up your arms and just, there's nothing extreme here. Just see what it feels like to keep the heart open and expansive. Notice the back of your body. Do you have to work so hard? Is there a place for you to find core stability that supports? And then release the hands down onto the ground or toward the ground. Big open chest. Stand on your right foot, pick up your left and grab your foot. So quad stretch, opening things up, letting the full front of your leg flush into an extension. Feel the stretch. Reach that other arm up, right arm to the sky, kick your foot back, start to find dancer pose. So don't worry about how deep you go in this pose. Just try not to open the hip and shoulder. Keep things square. Keep the neck as soft as possible. The knee you're standing on, that right knee, can soften and bend a little bit if you need help to unlock. Come back up. Reach that leg, knee all the way up in the air. Arms come up high. Place that foot down onto the ground and enjoy 2 feet on the floor. Widen open your collarbones. Have just a slight lift of the heart so we're not slumped. Counteract the desire to hide. So root into the left foot. Grab onto the right foot. Lift your arm in the air. First, just enjoy a quad stretch. Just enjoy the sensation of opening your quadriceps. Tailbone down, pubic bone up. Try not to lean into the hip. We're keeping that sense of integrity. And then reach and lengthen. Start to kick your foot into your hand and tip forward to whatever place feels right to you. Soften your left knee. Gaze at the floor. Try to keep the neck long. How is your breath? Turn on your glutes of that standing leg. Let them help you stabilize. And then come back up. Bring the knee all the way up in the air. And place your foot down on the ground. So notice if your neck or shoulders took a lot of tension, loosen things up. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale and float forward. Relax your head. Halfway lift, melt again. Take your legs wide, so turn to the side edge of your mat, wide-legged stance. Come on up. Turn your foot to the right, and come into Parsvakonasana. And open the side of your body. See if you can feel into the length and space here around your legs. Enjoy how open and wide. So, you know, when we think about heart opening, we often think of the front of the chest, but try to feel into the side of the heart here. Stay grounded through the feet. Remember your connection to the earth. Try to take less tension in your neck and shoulders. All right, come back up. Turn your feet to the left. Bend your knee. Elbow comes on your knee. Shoulders away from the ears. You can always put your hand on a block instead of on elbow on knee. And then stretch and lengthen through this side. So just like when we did that twist in the beginning of class, and I asked you to pay attention if you twisted more easily on one side or the other, notice your standing poses too. Do you have a side that you prefer or that you feel more at home in your body? So just pay attention to patterns. One of the patterns many of us have is a collapsed heart. So there's so much that makes us collapse our hearts, not even emotional stuff, but just the way we move our bodies and our culture. So see if you can expand and open the heart here, all sides of the heart. All right, relax. Stand up straight, turn your feet straight forward and walk the hands out in front of you, or you can have your hands underneath, whatever feels good.
Open up to a wide-legged stance. Thigh bones move back. All right, heel to your feet to get a little closer. Uttanasana. Bend your knees, relax your head. Halfway lift. Exhale and melt again. Drop your seat, lift your chest. Interlace your hands behind your back and open. Squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit toward each other. Open that chest up. And we're gonna relax and melt. Bring the arms to the sky, touch your toes, chair pose. Now feel, there's work to be had in lengthening and stretching the spine. Feel into the reach, drop the hips back. Feel the muscles along your spine engage, and then counter that, or not counter, but support that with your core. Okay, let's cactus open the arms here. Find some breath. And stand up straight and tall. Dive forward. Fold in half. Separate the feet if you want. Halfway lift. Now you might need to turn back toward the front of your mat for dog pose. Lengthen through your spine here. Deep breath. Let's come forward into a plank. Once again, integrate. Core is your steady factor here. You want to stabilize yourself. Notice what your chest is doing. Are you kind of lifting your chest upwards? See if you can have a sense of expansion. Trust your shoulders and ribs to support you. And then find the ground when you're ready. Roll the shoulders a couple of times. We're going to come up to up dog. So you can put two hands on blocks if this is a challenging pose for you. We're going to come up onto feet and hands only. Okay, everything else is off the ground. Try not to lock anything. So a slight micro bend in the elbows. Try not to fall. Lift, open the heart. And then melt and fold to come back down. Reach your arms overhead. If you can't do this, if your shoulders don't allow, put your arms down at your sides instead. Thumbs up. You can take your arms wider than shoulder width apart if that's more comfortable. Inhale the right arm and the left leg and feel that transfer of cross strength. Cross your back. And then relax. Change sides. Other arm and leg. Stabilize your core. Exhale and release. One more time each side. One more time. Right. Let's go ahead and find our way back. Move the spine about. Swish, swish. Move your back around. Let it ease up from the back bends. All right, then come back to child's pose. All right, you can skip a dog pose or do a dog pose. Eventually, we're gonna find our way back to upright. So get yourself there however your body gets. So I have a piece of furniture that's a good height in my room, but if you don't, you can do this against a wall. So I'm gonna put my elbows on this piece of furniture, walk my feet back so that I'm at a right angle, and I'm gonna take my thumbs toward my spine to open up my triceps. Now, if you don't have a piece of furniture, you can do this against a wall with your forearms on the wall. So choose a pathway that works well for your body. Open up your triceps. It's very easy to collapse, especially if you have very open shoulders. It's easy to collapse to the floor, so let's not. Let's lift under the armpits and lengthen the spine. And then relax. Take a step forward, come out of there, and just shake your shoulders. Shake it all back. Okay.
hands. Let yourself be loose. All right, palms facing up toward the sky now. And open your hands out to the sides. Feel the back sides of your shoulders. Work to keep the chest open. Put a teeny bit of weight in your hands. Open the breath. Okay, now let's do a little bit of movement within this. So just a little work for the rotator cuffs. Palms stay up. Imagine a little weight in your hands. And we're going to open up the hands out to the sides. And then bring the hands back to in front of you. Finding breath. So this is subtle. Try not to let your neck and shoulders be filled with tension. All right. And relax that. Take your legs wide on your mat again. Find the same arms. We're going to open them out to the side and come into Virabhadrasana legs. Virabhadrasana 2 legs. Drop the shoulders, collarbones spread, lift the heart, and then with your palms staying up, facing the sky, reach your hands outward. Open through your chest. Find your breath, and then extend open. Palms still open, reach to the sky. Palms still open, stretch into side angle. And then come back up. Find your breath. Platter your arms one more time, palms facing forward. Turn your feet the other way. Open your arms out to the sides, palms facing up, Virabhadrasana 2 legs. Ground yourself, open the heart. Start to stretch your arms straight, palms stay open to the sky. Spread your fingers, heart to fingers. Keep the palms where they are. Reach into a reverse warrior. Open things up in your side body. Keep your palms where they are and stretch open through a side angle pose. And then come back up. Heel toe your feet in. Come to stand. Inhale. Arms to the sky. Lean back. Open the chest. Float. Shake out your hands. Look down. Halfway lift. Melt. All right. Let's come down onto the ground and come onto our back. So hopefully a lot of what we've done has prepared us for a nice open bridge pose with our chests. Heels come down onto the ground, knees bent. So 4 corners of feet, find them before you lift. And then when you're ready, we're gonna lift up, climb onto the tops of your shoulders and ground yourself. Palms are facing up toward the sky, so we're not interlacing. Keep your hands, the backs of your finger pads, your hands, everything is moving into the earth. Keep your neck soft. Ground 4 corners of feet. Which corner do you lose? Breathing deeply. Let your full inhale come. Let your full exhale come. Relax and melt back down. Unwind your shoulders, melt your body. Breathing deeply. We're going to repeat that one more time. If you need more rest, you can do this pose passively with the block under your pelvis. You can also put a block between your thighs if you feel like you're having trouble finding the 4 corners of your feet. So find them again, rise up, climb onto the tops of the shoulders, keep your neck neutral. We're not pressing the back of our neck into the ground. Open across through your collarbones. Feel your ribs flare a bit with the breath. Root the backs of the arms all the way to your nails, fingernails. Neck is soft. The back of the head can feel weighted, but the neck is not compressed.
Feel your legs, four corners of feet. Lift the pelvis. Open the breath up as deep as you can get it. Then we're going to melt and lower ourselves down. Start to windshield wiper your knees and your head. So as your knees go right, your head goes left. As your knees go left, your head goes right. Very gentle twisting. Just release any tension that might have crept in there to your neck or your back. All right, simple twist. Lift your hips, scoot them to the right. Knees come up and drop them to the left. Let's open ourselves up. Turn your head to the right. Relax your shoulders. Breathing well. Pick up the knees. Scoot your hips over to the left. Knees come up and drop them to the right. Full breaths here. Relax your neck. Melt your head. Knees back up and find your way into reverse pigeon pose. Now, if you can put your foot against something today, that would be awesome. Because we want our neck and head to stay as neutral and relaxed as possible, and our chest and shoulders too. So if you have your left foot against a wall or a piece of furniture and your right foot on your left knee, your upper body can stay in all this spaciousness we've cultivated. So put your arms in maybe out to the sides, wherever is comfortable. Let the head start to rest deeply. The base of the skull is melting. Feel the inner walls of your throat melt, your tongue melt. Find the sensation of your hips. So see what it feels like to maybe drop the bottom tip of your tailbone toward the earth with some nice wide sit bones. Stretch through the big toe and the inner heel of that right foot. Stay inside your breathing. When you're ready, let's go ahead and switch sides. Be very mindful to keep the upper body as relaxed as possible. Notice if your hips do weird things, if you kind of hike one hip up toward the shoulder or twist to the side or something, so try to keep the neutral pelvis. Adjust your distance away from the wall or furniture to accommodate what this hip is available to do. Stretch through the big toe and the inner heel, wide sit bones, tailbone dips. So you want to have a neutral low back. You don't want to have a big arch in your back, but you don't want to be rounded either. Nice neutral head. Feel free to bobble your head a bit and make sure there's no tension. Relax that. Roll over onto your side and come to sit either in Virasana or sit on a blanket or on a block, however is comfortable for your body. Just for a moment, we're almost ready for Shavasana. I want you to have the feeling of an open heart while in a seated posture. Close your eyes, melt any tension that's still here. Find your breath, whether your hands are palms up or palms down,
Doesn't matter, just feel the open heart. A sense of stability, courage. Can you feel the physical sensation of trust? What does trust feel like in your body, in your breath? When you have this stability of heart, does it open any sixth sense for you? Do you come from a place of integrity and intuition and a deep knowing when you make choices with your heart open? And we make choices every moment. We're making choices in our mind, in what we're choosing to think, how we're choosing to judge situations, how we're choosing to speak and act. And if the foundation of those thoughts, words, and actions are based in a stable, trusting heart, so much is possible. Let's find our way to Shavasana. So as you lie down, the gift of this practice comes to fruition in Shavasana. It's the time to absorb your practice, integrate your practice, and rest. We all need more rest. So as you lie down, make sure you're comfortable. If there's anything your body needs, if you need a happy baby or a little rocking or twisting or support to take this pose, find your way. And once you are settled, what does it feel like to have trust in your body, to have trust in the ground below you? Can you yield? Notice your breathing. Breathing. Yield one more time, give way. Eventually find some movement. Bringing yourself onto your side. And as you come to sit and bring your hands together, can you do so with a beautiful open heart? As you come to a seated posture, feel a sense that you can be open to the world and grounded and stable all at the same time. And if there's a gift of this in your practice today, in the way you've moved your mind and body, let's offer this energy to another. Send your loving care. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Jenny, could you tell me the title of the book again that you were reading?
Yes, it is called And There Was Light. There's the book. And There Was Light by Jacques Lusseran, Lusseyan.
Hold it up again. I'll see if I can take a picture of it.
There you go. Wait, let me get
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.